In 2018, we moved from Bavaria to Nordrhein-Westfalen. Another huge move after already having moved from Brazil over to Germany barely a few years back. I was young and inexperienced, but already totally infatuated with horses. I'd ridden for 4 years already, after all. To make the move a little bit easier for me, my mother and my grandparents decided to fulfill mine, and probably every little girl's, childhood dream. They bought me a pony. At first, when scouring the internet for the perfect horse, I ended up falling for a tall, flea-bitten gray mare. She was young and definitely too much horse for me to handle, but that wasn't exactly what 13-year-old me cared about. After a bit of convincing, we went to test ride her, and things went surprisingly well, only for the owner to call us a few days later and tell us that she decided to sell the mare to someone else. Instead, she offered us a small, chubby Irish cob mare, Darcy's Delia. Darcy was not what I was looking for. She wasn't athletic, she wasn't tall, she wasn't exotic. She was small, chubby, misshapen, and not it. But when she looked up at me, those sad, expressive, lonely eyes, standing there in a small, tiny, dark stall without even a window, yeah, my heart melted. And I knew then and there she was coming home with us. The first time I ever rode Darcy was also actually the first time I sat in a Western saddle. I had to use a YouTube tutorial on how to tie the Texas T to understand the cinch, but hey, it worked. The owner was a bit of a sketchy reseller. She promised us Darcy was fully healthy and even offered us a loosely scribbled paper by some unknown vet. And due to my young age and my family's inexperience with horses, we didn't question it. Later on, we actually discovered her pass is totally inaccurate. Not only is her age marked wrong, but the markings and her coat don't make any sense. The facility and island she was supposedly from was nowhere to be found in any corner of the internet, so sketchy reseller might actually be a bit of an understatement. At least Darcy is chipped and vaccinated though. It was only after we paid for and brought Darcy home that we realized something was really wrong. We rotated through a lot of farriers at the fancy sports barn we first kept her at, and each one of them commented on how terrible her feet were. Her hooves were frail, dry, and misshapen. A few other people at the barn commented on Darcy's swayback, something that stubborn teenage me refused to listen to. I took a lot of riding lessons and made a lot of friends at that barn. Just like all good things though, it didn't last. Since I wasn't listening to other people about Darcy's back, she decided to show me herself. She bucked me off. I ended up fracturing my spine in 4 different spots. I spent the night in the hospital, and that really worsened my already frail mental health. At first, I was still stubborn. I ignored doctor's orders and wanted to see and ride Darcy again. But after moving barns due to an array of different reasons, my mother made the hard call to get an expensive, full vet checkup that Darcy should have had years ago. The checkup was a wake-up call. Not only was her blood work terrible with countless vitamin deficiencies, but there's no way in hell I should have been riding her. Horse riding was one of the last few things that still brought me joy, and hearing that I wouldn't be able to do that anymore, it broke me and stripped away any last bit of motivation I had left. During an argument with my mother, I lost my cool. I told her to sell Darcy, that I had no use for a horse that couldn't be ridden. My mother, however, had already grown attached to Darcy, and as such made the decision that instead of selling her, she would keep Darcy. Since my mother had no interest in horse riding, it made them a perfect fit. When she first started talking to me about horsemanship and liberty, I admit I thought it was ridiculous. I had learned riding on the classical principles of being the boss, of being the one in control. Hearing that I was meant to trust and befriend a 500-kilo animal, that seemed like an easy way to get hurt. Since my mental health had gotten a bit better over the years, I did try to work with Darcy a bit. But the constant clashing of my mother's and mine training methods just made things worse. It was only after I started to work with horses professionally and bought my own pony, a little project problem pony, that I realized Liberty works. Around 2 years later, I had to sell my horse. He found a great home with an amazing girl, and I started visiting Darcy again. I could immediately tell the difference. She turned into a completely different horse under my mother's care. I just wish I had learned to listen to her sooner. I wish it didn't take a permanently life-altering accident for someone to pay attention to what Darcy was trying to tell us. I asked my mother to tell a bit of her side of the story, of how she found the path to liberty. Darcy is the one that introduced this to both of us, so I thought it's only fair to hear from her current owner as well.
So when I first got to take care of Darcy, I didn't really know much of anything about horses, so I ran into a lot of trouble because she didn't want to do what I wanted her to do, which was exercise. Not that I knew a lot about exercise, but she wouldn't even go near the round pen after a couple of attempts, which meant that some people saw me struggling and offered to help, which was initially really good, but in the end, after I watched them help, I realized that that was not the way I wanted to work, because I don't like violence or intimidation, especially not to that degree. Then after a while we changed barns and I met some other people who had more of my line of thinking, which is to create a lot more connection with the animal. I think that animals have feelings and I would like to be their partner rather than for them to fear me and obey. I started learning from different set of people with much kinder ways of dealing with a horse. I ran into videos from Warwick Schiller, who has wonderful strategies. I learned a lot from him. I was trying those things out. I ran into one issue for me because Warwick wants connection over anything else. It's not about leading the horse, it's about having such a strong connection and such a strong partnership that the horse wants to do things with you. But I have a feeling that Darcy, while she loves me, she's a very quiet and lazy demeanor. She doesn't really want to do very much if she doesn't have to. So, because Darcy has a sway back and is a bit overweight, she really needs to exercise. She needs to build up muscle to actually be able to hold her weight and lose weight, which I can't just do by putting her under a diet. Yeah, we'd hang out, she would walk with me, but actually getting her motivated to do more wasn't working. I ended up running into Honza Blaha, who was doing, he doesn't call it liberty, he calls it line-free collection, but he's a bit more strict, so he does give serious instructions when he needs to. But that meant that I got to balance out a little bit more between making the connection to the horse and actually getting her to do stuff with me. And it meant that we got to have a lot of fun playing around. The thing she likes to do the most is to play completely free, so really line free. And she will accompany me and she will walk and trot and do all kinds of silly things, and that's her favorite stuff to do. So yeah, it's been a real treat.
During my time in the equestrian community, I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with countless different horses and ponies. Each and every one of them taught me something special. It just so happens that Darcy was the one who had to teach me how to let go. Accepting that my first ever own pony wasn't my heart horse was a damn bitter pill to swallow, but it's one that had to go down. I'm just so incredibly thankful to have been able to meet her, to learn from her, and to know that now she's found her person. Even if I'm in a whole different country now, I know I'll never have to worry about Darcy. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, subscribe, and come back next time. See y'all!